Good evening. Leading our news bulletin for tonight, the final appropriation bill for Niue's budget for 2012 to 2013 was passed last week in the House of Assembly. The bill introduced with the grant and appropriation expenditure for the recurrent operational expenditure, capital projects and investment and development projects, a sum of which does not exceed $25,754 in total. For development partner investment and development projects, a sum which does not exceed $18,298,000 in total. Niue's recurrent operations by department expenditure for 2012 to 2013 total for non-trading partners $15,192,000 and total for trading $10,087,000, totaling the expenditure figures at $25,279,000. Departments whose expenditures were more than $100,000 from the non-trading departments, the Premier's department was just over $200,000. The Niue Public Service Commission with an increase of more than $180,000. The Health Department just over $100,000, but the department with the highest increase is the Education sector with an increase of over $400,000. From the trading departments, Niue Power with an increase of just over $100,000, but a substantial increase for bulk fuel of over $800,000. The expected revenue figures standing for non-trading at minus $15,332,000, whilst trading is expected at minus $10,425,000, totaling expected revenue at minus $25,757,000. A court decision on an appeal challenging the sentence handed down to Lionel Tahanga by the Niue High Court has been received with a small reduction of the original sentence. In his sentencing of Mr. Tahanga's offence, Judge Patrick Savage enforced a 2 years, 5 month sentence for imprisonment and ordered the defendant to pay reparation of $3,344. However, the appeal by Mr. Tahanga's legal team has seen the reduction of his sentence to 2 years and 1 month, 4 months less than the original sentence. Monetary reparation of $3,344 still remains. Last week, Premier Honourable Toke Talangi called on all landowners of the Niue High School grounds and surrounding areas to meet on what government is proposing to move Niue Primary School and the early childhood learning to higher grounds. The move has been long contemplated by the government for convenience and safety of students. Some of the proposals by the landowners is to lease their lands, with some opting to exchange for other Crown land ideas. We will bring you more on this story in our future news bulletin. A memorandum of understanding between Niue government and a Niuean-owned enterprise in Auckland, Pacifica Integrated Healthcare Limited, is most likely to confirm signatories on Friday. Mrs. Delia Napier arrived on the island last week to continue the pledge she made in 2009 when she travelled with a group of Niuean businesses from New Zealand on a scoping visit in a hope to establish and develop businesses on the island. Today, Mrs. Napier spent time with health officials and staff to explain her assistance for the health workers. According to the proposal, Pacifica Integrated will help staff with short-term training exercises and support their learning auditing practices to bring the Niue health workers up to date with New Zealand practices. Mrs. Napier said she is excited to ensure the progression of the Niue health sector by providing the necessary training requirements for its staff both on the island and in New Zealand. We will bring you more on this news story in our future news bulletin. A bushfire that looked to affect residential homes was more smoke than the actual fire. Residents close to the newer primary school and surrounding areas avoided their homes on Saturday afternoon when heavy smoke from the area between the school and hospital looked like a huge fire had engulfed it. However, the newer fire department said they were called to attend to the fire, but chose not to do so as there was no imminent threat to buildings around the area and the bushfire finally died on its own. Difficulties for the department also is that it has only one fire truck, but according to a government official, a new refurbished truck is expected on the island shortly. In the meantime, if such fire threats to any areas on the island that threaten residents and buildings, the department will still attend even if there is one truck available. Last weekend's Kilikiki game spelled the end of the season for some teams and a sigh of relief over a season that has dragged on a bit. Tuapa and Tohiku battled it out in Mutalo, with Tuapa getting first opportunity to bat. With 24 in the team, they managed to score 225 runs, but not all out as they ran out of time. After a short break, Tohiku put up a good game. Despite having only 17 players, they managed a total team score of 61 runs. For Liqua and Mutalo, they met somewhere in the middle on the pitch in La Capa for what will be their last game in Pool B. The match got off to a good start with the weather holding up, and Mutalo were first up to bat with a team of 24 scoring 176 runs. Liqua spent the second half playing catch-up, starting off strong but only just missing out on yet another win, managing only 126 runs. This weekend we'll see a few more games and the finals for the women's competition will be held next week. And that concludes our news bulletin for tonight. Do join us again for our next news bulletin on Thursday.